I'm pissed off. I'm extremely pissed off. At many people, but most notably myself. I've I've given myself the label of an incel, an involuntary celibate. The reason I've done that is because I just my life I've just been trying to get laid for so long and it hasn't been working and I don't know why. And so I adopted this label to blame women for the fact that I can't get laid, for the fact that they don't want to be with me. And I've just done some thinking. And I came across a YouTuber called Anna Jorgensen, and she really opened my eyes. And I realized that it's entirely my own doing. Incel is a label about my mentality, not about my appearance. It's about my personality. And the bottom line is, I adopted that label to deal with the fact, to cope with the fact of me not assigning responsibility to myself. I can assign blame, but not responsibility. The only one who's responsible for my sex life, the only one who's responsible for my life in general, for anything, even as simple as getting myself clothes, is me, myself. Me, myself, and I. And that's what I've come to learn. I consider myself a loser. 27 years old. I have no college education. I have no career. I have no independence. I have no driver's license. I have no car. I have no place of my own. I just feel like a failure. And I just call myself an incel to cope with that. To basically not call myself a failure, not call myself a loser, because that's a more brutal term. And in essence, it's saying that I've given up. I do think there's hope for me, and I think there's hope for all incels, because I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I've made it far. I used to be a NEET, someone not involved in education, employment, or training. I am making progress slowly but surely, and I do believe I'll get to where I want to go. Now I'm back in community college. I'm in a mathematics physics internship where we build drones. The internship builds our drones and maps flight paths and whatnot. And I'm also working. I work as a cashier at a supermarket part-time. I am sad that I can't focus as much on my schoolwork as I'd like to. I can't afford school like I like to. I'm sad that I work a job that doesn't really offer me enough money to support even myself, and that all the time I sink into simply working, let alone getting to and from work, could be spent on more more scholarship applications. I wish I was on my own. And I've just learned that me being an incel is a mindset. It's not my looks. It's not, oh, I wear glasses and I'm 6 feet tall and skinny and that's why no woman likes me. It's how I carry myself. It's how I think. It's how I act. It's how I feel. It's how I act around others. It's how how I act to others. How I act to myself. It's what I say about myself, not just out loud, but in my head. And I've learned it's all on me. I'm making progress. Like I said, I'm in education and employment and training all at once. So I'm not sitting around doing nothing with my life. And I've looked at my life and I wanted to know. I wanted to dream. I'm going to dream right now for myself, but also for the world to know. I've closed my eyes and I want to think 75 years of my life. I'm 27, so let's just include that in there. So 75 years of my life, the 27 that I've already lived, Let's say from my age till then, I don't want to feel like doing the math. But let's say that in that 75 years from birth to death, starting with where I am now, what do I want to have accomplished? What are the things that I want to do, be, and have? Well, for starters, I would hope I could get a large scholarship to be able to afford my associate's degree. A very large scholarship, one that could pay for as much schooling as I wanted. I guess I should go in reverse, go from bigger to smaller. My biggest dreams are to become an astrophysicist, specifically an astrophysics professor at NC State. I was inspired, I am inspired by science fiction and how it helps me dream of a better future. It helps me dream of space travel and how humanity can come together and how technology can make the world a better place. And that's through physics, through applications of physics. And specifically, I don't want to go into all this now, but basically, revolutionizing space travel, a la Star Trek, requires the manipulation of gravity, faster light travel, and enormous energy production. And all three of those would require a breakthrough in physics, mainly understanding what dark matter and dark energy are. But that's a separate topic. I don't want to get into that now, but just the main thing is I want to be an astrophysicist at NC State. I want to teach. I want to learn about physics. I want to revolutionize physics. I also want to be a successful screenwriter, a film writer. I want to, what a surprise, write science fiction. I love watching many different genres. My main ones, though, are action, fantasy, romance. Generally speaking, whatever is the popular show, regardless of the genre, I'll tend to give it a watch of at least 1 or 2 episodes, and if I like it, a season. So I've seen everything from True Bloods to True Detective to Squid Games to The Orville to Star Trek, Strange New Worlds to the cartoon Star Trek Lower Decks to Numbers, CSI. The list goes on and on and on. But yeah, that's one. I want to write about science fiction. So I want to teach about, and I guess this is more specific. As an astrophysicist, I wouldn't want my course to be just introductory physics. I want it to be about the physics of science fiction, specifically Star Trek, in relation to, say, the impulse engines and rocket propulsion, to its deflector shields, its tractor beams, all that exotic stuff. But that, again, that's just a big dream of mine, but that's way farther down the road. But as a screenwriter writing about science fiction, I would want to write about space travel and just star hopping adventures. I would want to adopt my favorite science fiction novels I've read thus far, or that I have read and many that I'm going to plan on reading, based around space travel. Some of my favorite series are Honor Harrington by David Weber, Star Carrier by Ian Douglas, The Pendragon Adventure, the Flight Engineer series, which is it's a trilogy. So Flight Engineer trilogy series, whatever. The Galactic Marine series. Sten Chronicles. You could call it Sten Chronicles. Sten series. Sometimes it's just called Sten, Sten. And the list goes on and on and on. But basically, I would want to write about science fiction. I would want to be the most prolific novel to film screenplay adapter ever. And I'd want to get all the Academy Awards, all that, and I want to be the next George Lucas in terms of writing. I can find someone else directing, but in terms of writing, because I feel like we haven't had a true visionary, someone who wants a hopeful view for the future. Just in my life, born in my lifetime, I just want to be that guy. I want to make it happen. I don't want to wait for it to happen. What else would I want to have done? I want to have gotten a driver's license. I know I'm skirting back to short term. I want to get a huge scholarship to pay for everything, like just a big scholarship to allow me to get my driver's license, get a car, get a place of my own, afford food, housing, clothing, all that, as well as obviously school, so tuition, books, course materials, all that, all of it. To not ever have to worry about financing, to where I can take 3 classes a semester. 4, the whole full course load is 5. That might be too much for me. 4 might be my limit, but 3 to 5 classes. Be able to take that and not have to worry about finances. In other words, have a car paid for in cash, house paid for in cash. Don't have to worry about food for myself. I can just go out and buy it, buy the clothes I need, just to be able to focus just on school, just day in, day out, school, 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 and to just work at it, be an astrophysicist. What else would I want? I'd want independence. I'd want to have published several books in my lifetime about this. One about the Star Trek ship schematics, because again, I love Star Trek. Star Trek's my favorite science fiction space stations, and my favorite science fiction starships, the science of Iron Man, because I was inspired by him as a kid. I want to have dated, because I've never dated. I've never had a girlfriend, kissed, held hands, anything like that. So I want to have experienced those things. In the long term, I want to have found a wife. I want to have a wife, and I want to have a kid or kids. Just be a father, essentially, and teach that kid, show that kid love as I've been loved by my dad and mother. I just want everything to work out. I wish I had enough money to just do that and live life. It's fall, and I live in a relatively large city with lots of events every year, and I don't go out often enough because I just can't afford it. And I feel like I'm in a prison where I can't do anything, where I hear about wrestling events and comedy and comedian stand-ups and improv shows and beer festivals and music festivals and comic book conventions and anime conventions and cosplay conventions and mountain biking this and arts and craft that and orchestras and all these crazy events and pizzerias and all these things. Just so many people to meet, hundreds of thousands of people to meet, thousands of events every year to go to, all these places, and I'm just stuck here working a job that doesn't even pay me enough to support even myself, doesn't challenge me mentally. But that's what I would want to do, to be able to go out in the city on my own, by the way, be able to drive around on my own, know this city on my own, and go to these events on my own and meet new people, socialize, be able to meet dozens of people. They maybe say, hey, my name's Shaquille, ask 12 cute women out a day. I'm not saying, obviously, I'm not trying to be a quote unquote player and, date 100 women, but I want to be able to have the nerve to talk to women, because that's just something or flirt with women. That's just a skill that I don't have, or socializing just well. I'd want to be able to do that. I want to be able to learn Spanish. I want to be able to learn automotive engineering. I want to be able to learn how to cook better than what I know how to do now. I have a culinary book for that. I want to be able to help my family out. I want to be able to help my mother out, my father, my siblings. I want to be able to help them fulfill their dreams, in the sense of just making sure they have no financial obstacles. In that way, my brother wants to be a chef. I want to pay for him to be a chef. I want my sister to finish school. I want to give her the money to do that. I want to help my mom and dad too. Help my dad get a house paid for, have his cars paid off. He already has 2. He has enough, in my opinion. But get him a house paid for. I don't want to have a house for him built from the ground up. I think there are more than enough and great houses out there to where we can just find one already built that he'll love to be in, especially if I'm footing the bill, right? Yeah, just make sure everything's. Just want to be a good citizen. I want to be more physically fit. I want to put on muscle. I want to improve my cardio, deal with my health, not neglect my health, have a better diet, eat foods that allow me to basically, I guess, lose weight, build muscle. I don't know how to put it. Just basically cut out fatty foods and stuff. I basically want to be a normal, functioning member of society. I want to be a decent man. I want to be somebody. I want to do it. And I do watch science fiction, and recently an episode of me watching Star Trek Lower Decks, I rewatched this episode. And it was season 2, episode 5, and it just made me cry, because I want to be an astrophysicist more than anything. more than anything, more than my weight in gold, having my weight in gold. I literally wanted more than that. And it's just want to be able to inspire people. Just want to be able to change people's lives. I don't truly hate women. I've just hated myself, and I'm sorry for blaming you all for my own problems, blaming you all for my own shortcomings. But the good news is, it's my life. I'm 27, I'm a grown man. This is my life, it's my time. I have all of the financials where I need to, survive, and more than enough emotional support for my family and friends and mentors, those close by me, to succeed at everything I want. They've given me all the tools, all the advice necessary, all of the enthusiasm necessary. It's time for me to change my life, to improve my mental health, my physical health, and by that I mean, fitness, like I was talking, muscle gain, my time management skills, my communication. It's going to take a while, but I think I can become most of the type of person I want within 5 years. Independent, increased skills, got my associate's degree, got even a bachelor's degree in physics, dated. That's what I want. I want to be on top of the world in my own way. And I want to leave a legacy where I was a good man, a great man, a hard-working man, a nice man, an astrophysicist, and a screenwriter that inspired the hearts of millions of people. That science can make the world a better place, that we can make the world a better place, and that it starts with us believing in ourselves.